Welcome, everyone, to In the Spotlight. My guest this week is a rising star with a lot going on, a love for what he does, and a future as bright as anyone's in the music business today, Trey Calloway. Trey, welcome to the show and welcome to the Spotlight.
Thank you, Bill. That's a pleasure to be here, buddy.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you. And I'll tell you, I looked, Trey, at some of the things you've got coming up in these next couple weeks and next couple months. And man, I'm going to do my best to put as much of it as I can under the spotlight. But you're making it really hard because you got a lot of great stuff coming up.
Yes, sir, man. They're working me to death, but I'm loving every minute of it.
I can tell. And that's why I said, even in the intro, it's clear to me that you love what you do and you appreciate having that opportunity to do that.
Yes, sir.
And one of those things that's coming up in late September is the release of your album. And the album title is going to be Wanted Man, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wanted man.
Okay. Great song, by the way. Great single.
Thanks, buddy.
Man. And just last Friday, you released the most recent single, Back Road Believer, from the album. So what inspired the latest single and what can you tell us about the album overall?
So that's a great question, Bill. Thank you for asking me. So Backroad Believer is I have a background in gospel music. My father was a Pentecostal evangelist when I was growing up, and so he would an evangelist for folks that out there that don't know is a traveling preacher, somebody that goes and preaches revivals. And it was fire and brimstone, man. It was shouting and singing, and it was a good time. So I would go and I would sing in front of the congregation before he would preach his sermons. And so that really gave me the music bug very early on. I knew, like, hey, man, people like this when I sing, and I enjoy singing and making people happy. And that uplifting the Lord in song has always been a part of me, even after I started playing country, probably around the age of 13. The gospel undertones of my music have always been there. I've been known in a honky tonk bar on a Friday night to break out "I'll Fly Away" and just start, getting everybody in there shouting, because that's what I love to do. Just because it's Friday doesn't mean we can't praise the Lord. So Backroad Believer is a story that's semi-biographical about me. The main character in the song is more of what I would say a teenager. So I was a little younger when I was singing in churches and stuff like that. But this guy is he believes in the Lord, he loves the Lord, and he knows the preacher's telling the truth and speaking the word, but he is that's not where he connects with the Lord. He connects with the Lord out in God's creations, out in the country, out on the back road. And so that's what the song's about. Is I find God and I find grace among those pines and in between those white lines. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. And I'll tell you, I have I have to admit, and that's one of the things I love about country music is the stories and just
Yes,
listening to
sir.
you tell the story behind the song is truly one of the things I love most about it. But I do have one concern about the album now that I've listened to so
All
many of
right.
the cuts.
Cool.
Do you think you've got too many great songs on one album? Should you maybe have saved a few?
Well, honestly, we started off, I'm an independent artist. I'm not signed to a record label. Hopefully one of these days I will be, but right now I'm not. And we said we can't have any songs that are just eh, and a lot of songs you go listen to albums and there might be one on there was just, you know, then maybe it's just a goofy song. We wanted every song on this album to say something meaningful, even if it wasn't a playful way. We took the time to make every song stand on its own. And when I go out and play them live, is when I find, hey, these people really, really dig this song. Whether it's something like "Miss Gone by Morning," which is a total barn burner and just balls to the wall and fast. And then, something like "Horses in Heaven" or "Back Road Believer" that have gospel undertones and have a very serious meaning behind them. Back Road Believer has a stadium rock country kind of a vibe to it, but if you listen to the words and the meaning, this main character of the song is saying something meaningful. I really appreciate you saying that, by the way. You are the first person, Bill, to say that to me, and you just made my day. I hope you know that. You really did.
Well,
Thank
I
you,
mean
sir.
it, and I'm glad I was able to do it because I
Thanks,
really
buddy.
do. I love every song. I love every cut. And you talked about the gospel undertones to it, but I also hear And lyrically and sound wise, I hear a lot of the 90s in there.
Oh,
And when I
absolutely.
listen to your voice, and I was describing to a buddy of mine the other day, I'm like, you got to check this guy out. Listen.
Yeah.
And he goes, what's he sound like? I said, well, if you took Mark Chestnut and Garth Brooks and threw them in a blender
Yes, sir.
and added a whole lot of power, because
Yeah.
you've got some serious power in that voice
Thanks, man.
too. I said that's what you get. Plus, a lot of his songs are what I like to call KBC, kick butt country. You got
I
that.
might have to write that down, Bill. I'm
Yeah.
going to write that down right now.
Yeah, you got kick butt country going on. So that's why I was hooked on it. But I'm curious as to how much of an influence that 90s era was on you as an artist, because I just hear it coming through.
Well, I can't help it. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I can't help it. So for me, I love all country music, even modern country. I love modern country too. There's a lot of great artists out there today. But the 90s, man, it was just a big old cowboy hat, buckle shining, boot wearing time. And, that's what Nashville's kind of coming back around to that. Guys like me, there's a couple of other buddies of mine out there that are starting to just say, you know what, we're going to wear what we want to wear. We're going to sing the way we want to sing and have fiddles in our songs again and have steel guitars in our songs again and have twanging Telecasters in our songs again. And people are really responding well to it. So, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Garth Brooks is probably the number one influence on me as far as when I got into country music. My mom and dad bought me a greatest hits, like a country gold greatest hits album when I was growing up, when I first got into country, and it had like George Jones and Tammy Wynette and Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and Charlie Pride and all these great artists on it. So I did fall in love with that classic country. But man, as soon as I heard If Tomorrow Never Comes or Standing Outside the Fire, it was all over but the crying for me. And then, Alan Jackson and Clinton Black is probably my mom's favorite country artist of all time, or maybe Randy Travis. All that stuff created me. And then you put that gospel undertone. And then I also kind of, when I first started playing in bands, was doing a lot of Southern rock stuff. So it was a lot of Leonard Skinner and a lot of Marshall Tucker Band. And, because we play a lot of biker rallies and, bikers love Marshall Tucker Band. They love, Allman Brothers Band. So all that kind of culminated into what we're doing today. So, man, I really appreciate you saying all this, Bill. This is making my day, brother. Thank you.
And the other thing too is, and I don't, I talked about the sound, but lyrically and the stories, because that's another part. And because I know what drew me in 30-ish years ago was some guy, a rodeo guy named Chris Ledoux. And
man,
all of a sudden I'm like, this guy's kicking butt. Plus these stories, like, wow. It was just, and that's how I got hooked initially and just kind of went from there. So I just have so much respect and admiration when you can put the whole combination together, the sound, the lyrics, the storytelling. And then, like I said, when you get some KBC kick butt country in there too, man,
I might
beat it.
Bill, I might have to steal that, man. That sounds like an album cover title or something. It sounds like something, man, or the name of a tour. Or, who knows, brother? I'll credit you on it.
Yeah,
but, man, that's
it's
pretty
one of
cool.
My playlists on my iPhone. I've got kick butt country. So I got my fitness list. I think 4 or 5 of your songs from the new album are on there already. Awesome, it helps get me up in the morning at 6 o'clock when I'm at the gym. Need that little boost.
See, you're an early gym goer. I'm a late night gym goer. After I get done with this podcast with you, I'm going to go eat my dinner and then I'm going to go to the gym for 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I don't have any shows today, so why not just go and exercise,
Well, and what's interesting, it's great that you're doing that because not that long ago, we had William Lee Golden on, and William Lee is 85 years old, and he does 200 sit-ups a day.
Wow.
And he stays in shape. And so
making us all look bad. He's
making
us look bad.
Exactly. I did 200 sit-ups last year.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've maybe done 200 in my life.
Yeah.
But
I guess the bottom line is when you keep in shape like that, it just helps. There's so many different ways that can pay off with the energy and performing and vocally. And, you can go to your 85, just like he's doing.
it's a testament to his longevity in the music business. I wish I had taken my physical fitness more seriously in my teenage years, but now at the age I'm at now, especially with the music kind of, you know, getting momentum, it's like, man, if I'm going to be out on the road all these days and I'm going to be touring and away from home, and then I got to come home and I got to work on in the studio, and you know, this is getting to be very real for me, very fast.
Hmm.
And you know, I've got to do something. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on stage one night and go, "Thank you, good night," and then fall over. You know, so, I mean, which I guess there's worse ways to go out than that, but you know, it's a testament to his longevity in the music business. He stays in such good shape, man.
Yeah, and
You look like you work out too, brother.
I
I'm
do I
trying,
do a
man.
little.
I'm a little doughy, but I'm trying. I'm trying,
Yeah,
buddy.
I do a little. I'm there pretty much 6 days a week, early in the morning. So
Yeah, maybe we'll have to share some. You had to give me some advice. I'm trying to do cardio every day, and I'm trying to run. You know, like walk or run about 5 7 miles a day. They say 10,000 steps is like the bare minimum,
right.
and I'm like, good lord, that's 5 miles. That's 5 miles. Ten
Yeah,
thousand steps is 5 miles.
yeah,
That's what the doctors say is are recommended for every human being is to walk. You know, 5 miles a day.
yeah,
That's insane, man. So it's a new one on me. So usually I'll do 2.5, and then I'll do my workout, and then I'll do another 2.5 miles,
yeah.
and
There
that
you
helps
go.
break it up a little bit, and
Yeah,
it helps. It's been pretty good.
yeah. And the bottom line is every little bit helps. And like I said,
Yes,
it
sir.
helps, physically, mentally, all
Yes, sir.
those different things. And it'll give you that extra boost when you need it, when you're going all those nights in a row and doing all those different things. And speaking of which, I mentioned earlier, you had a lot of things coming up. You've got a couple things coming up in October.
Yes, sir.
One very special event on a personal level, and another one where there could be double digit awards at the Josies in October. So does it get any better than that? I mean, talk to me about these amazing things you've got coming up in October.
4 years ago, I met the most wonderful woman in the world, and I'm going to get the honor of marrying her on October 12th. And her name is Raina. She's amazing, and I'm very happy and excited to marry her. And then, yes, with the
Congratulations.
Josies. Well, thank you, sir. Man, I'm honestly, you're right. I'm the lucky one. I'm the lucky one because she's better than I deserve. You know, I outkick my coverage. Everybody takes every opportunity to remind me as much as they can. So, but she's the best. She's my best friend. I think you should marry your best friend. So, and then with the Josies, man, you know, Josie and Tina Marie and Matt are, you know, three of the nicest people I've had the pleasure of meeting since I've been living in Nashville, and they really care about independent artists that are out there trying to get heard in a world full of people making music, and they take time to make every single person that they work with feel appreciated, and they're the sweetest. They're the sweetest. I'm really looking forward to this year. They had the ceremony at the Grand Ole Opry, and yeah, you know, just to be nominated for so many is a big honor, and hopefully I'll win. You know, I'd love to win one, but if I don't, man, just being nominated for that many is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's such a great point, and I can't help but think that the more people that they just get to hear your music, and then they're going to search for more and search for more. And
Yes, sir.
I know it takes a lot of work, but I absolutely see it paying off. And before I get to my next question for you, I just want to share one thing with you since you're getting married in
Yes,
October.
sir.
We recently had the pleasure of interviewing T.G. Shepherd and Kelly Lang together, and they are an amazing couple. They've been through a lot. And I would recommend that you and your fiance, if you get a chance, watch that episode and
I
listen
will.
to, because I basically am blown away and kind of talk with them about how they've managed to get through the difficult times, how they seem to just be there for each other, and the advice they share and the things that they not don't just talk about, but they do together. It will blow you away. And if
Yeah.
every couple treated each other, respected each other, and lifted each other up the way they did or do, I
Yeah.
don't think there'd be any divorce. It is absolutely amazing. So I'm just throwing that out there because it's really a great recipe on how to have a very long and happy marriage. So
Yes,
just a little
sir.
public service announcement
We
there.
sure will. We
Yeah.
sure will.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
it
man. I
doesn't
appreciate you
help that
telling
they're
me about
great
that.
people too.
Absolutely. Well, I've not gotten the chance to meet them yet, but I've seen them at their shows, kind of where I was going there to watch them play, not necessarily like a person in the crowd, but like, somebody on my team was working an event that they were playing. And so I've always wanted to meet them. I look forward to meeting them one day, and I can't wait to shake their hands.
Yeah,
And
great
you're
people.
you're exactly right, man. And I think they married their best friend.
That's one of the things they
You know
said.
what I mean?
And when you said that, that's what
Yes,
triggered
sir.
it in my mind. Wait a minute,
Yes, sir.
that's one of the key ingredients. After listening to them say it, it sounds like a simple thing, but it really isn't to do that. But it really helps. And then the whole lifting each other up and and they've been through some incredibly tough times, and they're very open about it. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
the amazing thing. So yeah, I just want to share that with you. I wish you all the
Thank you, sir.
best, both with the wedding and with the Josies. You got to walk away with a couple of them, or it's fixed. I mean, come on.
Keep you knock on wood, brother. Knock on wood, man.
Yeah.
Hold your fingers for me, buddy. Cross
All
your
right.
fingers for me.
All right. I did. Now, I have one last question for you, and it's kind of a deep.
Okay.
What would you say? I know you've worked hard for a long time, and you've got a long, bright future ahead of you. But Trey, what would success ultimately look like for you as an artist and also as a person?
Man, that's a great question. Let me take a moment. Let me think.
Sure.
I think that professional success for me, there's two answers. I honestly have two answers. I have an answer that is more of a moral one, and then I have one that's more of a greedy one that is more me. The first one would be to change people's lives, whether it's, play a song that, they meet the first time they meet in a bar or in a grocery store, and the song happens to be playing, and, a song of mine becomes their song, that every time they hear it, it takes them back to that moment when they fell in love, or, or a time when somebody thought about losing a parent or a best friend, and this song helps them get through that. To change one person's life with music and have an impact on somebody's life the way my heroes have had on my life and so many others, that is a career worth hanging your hat on. On the other side, the greedy side, I want to play the Grand Ole Opry so daggum bad that I can't stand it. I want to play the Grand Ole Opry, and then you could just put me in a pine box and bury me. That's a life worth, you know, tipping a hat on. The Opry for me, I remember the first time that I went to the Grand Ole Opry. I was probably 13. I think it was right around the time that I started really getting heavy into country music. And my mom and dad said, okay, we got to plan a trip to Nashville. So we came to Nashville. My mom and dad took me to the Grand Ole Opry, and we are up in the nosebleeds. And I'd like to tell a little story if that's all right. If you have a minute for me
Sure.
to tell you, I'll make it quick. But we're up in the nosebleeds, and my mom's camera. I was back when she had a little digital camera, and the battery died in it. So I had to run down to the gift shop to see if she had some batteries. I ran down there, and as I was going into the elevator, the package like cracked open, and one of them fell and rolled to the elevator. And I happened to bump into like the media director, the guy that stood at the podium at the Opry, and and he had that big deep radio voice. Can't remember the guy's name. I have to look it up, but I remember him clear as day. I'll never forget his face. And I said, sir, you don't know me. And I'm like a little kid. I don't even have any facial hair or anything. I was like, you don't know me, but I'm going to be on that stage one day. And I just want to ask you, what's it like? And he said, honestly, there's no better feeling in the entire world than being on that stage. And that has always stuck with me. And hopefully, if I ever do get to make that Opry debut, I'll tell that story, and hopefully people will like that story. That story, I mean, that was like yesterday to me. And then happiness on a personal level for me is just to have a healthy wife, healthy kids, my own health, and be able to tell her one day all of the believing in me that you did, all of the sacrificing you did, all of the time apart that we've spent. It was all worth it. I'm able to give you the life you deserve with my guitar, with my voice, with my songs. And that's happiness with me, to be able to go to that woman and say, you believed in me when I had nothing. And if I do ever have something, I want to spoil you rotten and take care of you.
Wow.
That's personal happiness to me, buddy. Yes, sir. That's deep. That's deep, man. You're making me think deep, brother.
Yeah. Well,
I love
you
it,
know
though.
what? The thing is, Trey, I think that in addition to the talent that you have and the abilities that you have, that outlook and that moral compass that you have is why I have no doubt that you're going to get there and be the Opry and beyond, because you're doing it the right way and you're looking to do it for the right reasons. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you, man. You are making my day. I'm about to go to the gym and I'm gonna crush it. We're gonna have a great one, dude. I'm feeling good, buddy. I really appreciate you.
Well, all right. Well, I look forward to having you back down the road.
Anytime.
And maybe at some point, whether if you either come up here towards the Northeast, anywhere, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, I'm going to come check you out. And I am going to be making my way down your way. So maybe we can head to a Planet Fitness or something together.
Let's go.
Down there.
Let's go, buddy. I'll have it waiting on you. Man, you let me know when you come to Nashville, and I'll for sure, we're going to let you know when we come up that way. You know, honestly, the Northeast is like a big market that I haven't tapped into yet. So when we go and we do a tour up there, you'll be one of the first people I call, brother.
Okay. Hey, do it, because we've got the venues up here, and we have a mutual person that we talked about before we turned the camera on that knows about some venues up here. And it is a huge, huge area for country music, especially your kind of country music.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm ready, buddy.
All right. Well, Trey, hey, I wish you all the best with the new single, the new album, your upcoming wedding, the Josie Awards, all that you've got going on. Nothing but the best. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. I appreciate you. It was an honor. Can't wait to be back.
All right. Me neither. Folks, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Eyes at this sweet little honey, mind full of wishes, a pocket full of money, thinking white picket fence, oh 9 yards, before you get yourself down the road that far. Let me tell you where you are, and you're working on your next broken heart. She's missed gone by morning. Yeah, she's a hurricane come and gone before you hear that warning. Brother, forget about forever. Well, ain't no man gonna hold her down. That sweet little lady's broken every heart in this town. She's an empty glass while you're still pouring. Ain't no happy ever after ending to your story. Well, you might be sad for a while, but you're gonna wake up with a big old smile, 'cause she's missed gone by morning. Yeah, she's a hurricane come and gone before you hear that warning. Brother, forget about forever bound. Well, ain't no man gonna hold her down. That sweet little lady's broken every heart in this town. Here we go. Oh, come on now. She'll never leave you, always be together with you in her arms and holding on. Like I was betting that she'd never leave me, always be together with me, then I won't come alone. She's missed